All right, Shalom. Shalom, giving all praises, all glory, honors unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushua, Bahashem, Makapadash, double honors to the apostles, elder bishops, a great millstone. Peace and blessings to the 144,000, rest of the hopeful elect out there. This is your brother, the priest, is Iwan from GMS Atlanta, back with another edifying video. And this will be an Motb update. We have more technology that is currently being developed, that is being put into use, and being applied in different areas, in different countries around the world, different regions, which is setting up for the coming digital world system that will eventually lead to the biometric implant, which we here at GMS call the Motb, which is known as the mark of the beast according to the Bible. And yes, the mark of the beast is the microchip implant. We here at GMS, Great Millstone, we've been teaching that from the beginning, the same thing, the same understanding, the same prophecies, the same breakdown for all this time. You have different Israelite groups, IUIC, IGPK, and others that have constantly contended and going against the truth of the matter of what these scriptures are saying that will come to pass in these last days. They come against GMS, they come against the apostles, they come against us in this, doing these videos and doing these lessons, speaking on this topic, when more and more the world itself is showing that GMS is 100% correct when it comes to the Motb. You know, they're saying, you got Israelites saying that the mark of the beast is sleeping with white women. The mark of the beast is an embargo of different nations and trade back and forth. The mark of the beast is this, is that, is John 3:16. When, you know, IUIC saying the mark of the beast is sin in all its forms. But none of that is holding up. None of that is being shown to be concrete. But what we do see that's coming to pass is that there is a development of biometric and digital technologies in the world. There is an increase of digital shifting, or an increase of shifting to digital technologies that pertain to biometrics and buying and selling without so-called paper or coins. There's a constant shift to the world going to cashless society, which directly ties into Revelation 13, verse 17, that no individual human being, man or woman, will be able to buy or sell anything without getting the mark. So what I have here, I have a few articles. This here is dealing with Samsung. Now, I've mentioned Apple within the last few weeks and how their virtual headset device is compatible with the Neuralink and different brain-computer interface technologies. Actually, I think it's the Synchron. Apple and Synchron are compatible. With Synchron is another brain-computer interface. The Motb, the implant technology in the brain, which that's backed by Jeff Bezos and this guy Bill Gates. So we're seeing that GMS has always been right. So now Samsung says Samsung Palm Biometrics system could be more secure successor to fingerprint. So this is a major shift because Samsung, along with Apple, are the two major telecommunication companies, along with, I believe, Huawei out of China, Samsung's out of Korea, Apple's out of America. When it comes to smartphone technology, Samsung is one of those billion-dollar companies at the top. So they're also getting into palm biometrics. So let's read this. It says, Korean tech giant files EU patent for palm scanning system that records coordinates more. Because what the elites of this world want to do, which the elites of this world are Edomites, they're descended from Esau, which pursuant to the prophecy in the book of Genesis, the 27th chapter, one of the blessings that Esau was to get when he was blessed by his father Isaac was that he would rule the planet Earth. But he would have to do it. He would have to take his rulership of the planet Earth by force and deception as well. And so this technology is a part of that deception to get everyone integrated into a digital system where all their records will be stored that will be controlled by Esau, by the Edomites. So it says Samsung has filed for a European patent covering a palm biometric system that could be implemented in future smartphone models. Now, what is a Korean company, a Korean technology company? What benefit does it have them to file for a European patent? Well, if you understand Bible prophecy, you know that Europe is a part of the beast system found in Revelation 13. Okay? Europe is a part of the EU, European Union, or the European Union is based out of Europe, along with NATO. And then you have America, Canada, all Edomite countries, so-called white countries, by the way, which make up the revived government of the Roman Empire, which is known as the fourth beast or the fourth kingdom in Bible prophecy. So the European patent makes sense because it's going to be the beast system, which is going to be all over the world, but the beast system will be based out of Europe and America, which is going to push the mark of the beast. When you read Revelation 13, 15, and 16. It says the system uses a phone's back camera to perform a palm scan that records at least 3 feature coordinates from the resulting palm print image, offering palm posture data and a wider sample surface for biometric data than a fingerprint. So they want to store, which, by the way, biometric means to measure the body. So this body measurement system is going to store your personal data, your personal information in a global database, and a private database as well. Same thing that they do with the DNA. You had this one company, 23andMe, went bankrupt, but I believe they just recently got bought out. So who knows what they're going to do with all the DNA that all these different millions of people sent in. But it'll all be a part of this new system, along with your biometric data. That's the ultimate. I'm speaking from a macro level, okay, a macro world perspective. But they're definitely building a central system. A central system that will store all your information. So it says in more detail from a report by patently Apple, a smartphone device includes a camera module, at least one processor, and a memory, wherein the memory can store instructions that, when executed by at least one processor, cause the electronic device to obtain at least 3 feature coordinates from a palm image obtained through the camera module, identify a rotation angle with respect to the palm based on that at least 3 feature coordinates, and adjust a palm print recognition area based on the rotation angle with respect to the palm. So they're reading everything, man. Hey, man, scripture says that the heart of every one of them is deep. All right, speaking about Esau. Okay, he's deep. His scientists, his technological innovators, and these different companies, they are developing a system that will be able, because of your smartphone. So let's say you get the Motb in the hand, right, which is the microchip. All you got to do is use your smartphone camera to scan your palm, or read because you also have the RFID reader in your phone. They could use that in your phone to unlock your phone, retrieve certain information, and buy and sell. So we're in that time, okay? Let me get a precept. When you go to the book of Daniel, the 12th chapter, when you go to Daniel chapter 12, it says that knowledge shall be increased. This is Daniel 12:4. But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, the scriptures. So the scriptures were sealed at one point, even to the time of the end. We'll start with Yahushua. That was the beginning of the last days when he was on the scene. So with his sacrifice and resurrection, he sits on the right hand of the Heavenly Father. When you read Revelation, the 5th chapter, it says that he was worthy to take the book and unleash the seals thereof. Matter of fact, let me get that. Let me get Revelation chapter 5. And then I'll come back to Daniel 12, and then we'll get some more out of that article. This is Revelation chapter 5 and 1. Right? The book with the 7 seals. And I saw on the right hand of him that sat on the throne a book written within. This is Revelation 5 and 1. And on the backside, sealed with 7 seals. And that's the Heavenly Father Yahweh that's on the throne with the book. Verse 2. And I saw a strong angel proclaiming with a loud voice, who is worthy to open the book and to loose the seals thereof. And no man in heaven, nor in earth, neither under the earth, was able to open the book, neither to look thereof. So no one that died, no one in the earth at that time was ever able to fully get the 100% understanding of the book, of the scriptures, of the visions that the prophets had, not until Yahushua came. Verse 4. And I wept because no man was found worthy to open and to read the book, neither to look thereon. And one of the elders saith unto me, weep not. Behold, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the root of David, hath prevailed to open the book and to loose the 7 seals thereof. When you read Daniel, the 12th chapter, it says that the book was sealed. So who opened the book? Yahushua. And it goes on to say that he was worthy to take the book. Okay? So Daniel 12:4 again. But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book. So the book was at one point sealed, along with the other prophets, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. So the seals were opened by Yahushua. Also, when you read Joel, the 2nd chapter, it says that the Lord is going to pour his spirit upon all flesh. So the Heavenly Father, he's making things happen in the earth. He's making things happen in the earth. Okay? Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. And that knowledge has increased into innovation and technology. Post-slavery here in America, post-1865, after slavery ended, and emancipation was at hand, you had something called the industrial age. Where you had your oil tycoons and your steam engines being developed, and then eventually it led to fuel, cars, airplanes in the early 1900s, and then computers in the mid 1900s. so forth and so on, so that there is a number of different technologies out there. Computers, we didn't have computers 150 years ago. So what increased? The knowledge. So with knowledge being increased, so does problem solving. Problem solving leads to uh, experimentation. Experimentation leads to uh, innovation, research and development. Right. That's why different companies have something known as R&D departments, research and development. And then eventually, the execution of that knowledge and that technology, it arrives. So we're seeing that things are happening that are definitely leading up to Revelation 13 being fulfilled. Let me get that. Let me get Revelation 13. And I get the point. Verse 16, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. That is technology. That will be an implant, a chip that will be biocompatible. A biocompatible microchip is being developed, and we will utilize biometrics and AI for you to do what? In verse 17. And that no man might buy or sell. So you won't be able to go to a restaurant. You won't be able to get things from the grocery store. Same thing that happened in 2020 with certain restrictions if you didn't get the jump shot. But this is going to be 100 times that. Okay. So you instead of not having the card, saying that you got the jump shot or the juice, if you don't have this implant, then you won't be able to buy or sell anything. And that no man might buy or sell, save either had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Here's wisdom. Right, so you got to be tied to this digital system. Samsung, Visa, Microsoft, Apple, all these major companies are all in on it. Why do you think Elon Musk just stepped down from being a part of Trump's administration? Because he's been called by the elites behind the scenes to sit back in his rightful seat. Everything is lining up for these devils to complete their New World Order agenda. But we know also as well, because of prophecy, that they're going to fail. But they have to put it together first. They got to attempt it. They got to try it out. Because what Esau wants to do, he has to get rid of Jacob, the Israelites, in order for his plan of ruling the world, like I mentioned before, can be fulfilled. It says, here is wisdom, let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. And that's going to be the numbering, that's the vibration of the numbering system that will be attached to the mark. They're pushing digital IDs around the world with personal numbers. Personal ID numbers, so we could see a shift from the Social Security number here in America, carrying around them cards, to now you're going to have to register with this digital number instead of the Social Security number, or they just transfer your number to that new digital system. I mean, we'll see how it goes, but eventually it's going to lead to this mark. So now going back here, dealing with Samsung, they want to scan your palm. Okay, now this isn't the Motb, but you will be using your hand to buy and sell, like I read in Revelation 13:16. Okay, so here it says in more detail from a report by Patently Apple, a smartphone device. Let me see. Well, I read this. I want to read it again. Let me go to the next. So it says a palm scan can offer a whole array of biometric data points beyond lines, wrinkles, and ridges. Palm scans can potentially measure biometrics such as palm vein pattern and blood vessel shape or fingerprint and finger shape. And that's going to be the lead up to you using your hand with the chip in it. But variety is only one advantage of palm scans over fingerprints. So they're going for fingerprints, biometrics, and I think they're doing facial and iris scans. Or they're moving from iris scans because they're just scanning your eyes. Now they're moving to facial scans. So it's a gradual step process that Esau is doing to bring about this new system. It says more data points means higher accuracy. Print and vein scans in tandem provide better loudness detection. The modality provides a larger biometric service area and does so without requiring contact. Right? Contactless payments, all of that. Furthermore, palm prints last better than fingerprints do. Well, they're bigger, hands are bigger, so you got more service area. So that's the point on that. Oh, hold on. There's more. Damn. Oh, okay. It says continuing developments in the tech, like leveraging millimeter wave signals, has led to the emergence of solutions that offer biometric data in fine detail in a cost-effective model. Remember, Daniel 12:4, knowledge shall be increased. So they're able to develop and innovate more. So who's giving them the knowledge? Yahweh Bashmiah Shai is giving them the knowledge, building their pride up so they can introduce this mark, which is part of Bible prophecy, fulfill that prophecy, and then the Lord's going to destroy them, destroy the system and get them out of the way. But this is all a part of Esau weaponizing technology as a sword, because that's his blessing, against the world. It says the 2023 research paper proposed a dual wavelength synchronous acquisition system to measure static palm print vein and dynamic oxygen saturation pulse biometrics at the same time. So they're always researching and doing things that fits their plans. It says the combination of existing advantages and future potential has led to healthy adoption for palm biometrics in payments and beyond. Okay? Amazon has been an enthusiastic adopter, deploying palm payments through Amazon One at the company's grocery stores and recently for healthcare. It also introduced palm scans for access control. So we're definitely going to see the Motb make its debut soon. Right now it's just, using your body in general, facial scans, iris scans, fingerprints, now palm scans. That's something that, they could use. It's all leading up to the Motb. Okay? Check this out, and this is why they want to use palms. It says, while fingerprints can sometimes change due to injury, aging, or certain medical conditions, the unique features of palms tend to remain relatively constant throughout a person's life. But let's say something that happens with your palms. They're going to introduce the implant. That's what's the next step is, the implant. Okay? So Samsung is adopting this for palm scanning, which is another step closer to the Motb. Let's go to the next one here. All right, so this is out of China. China approves cyberspace IDs as part of federated identity scheme. So yeah, they're definitely introducing digital IDs around the world. China is calling it cyberspace IDs, but it's still the same system. Same system, different country, you know. It says China has approved measures to issue national ID numbers that citizens can use to register for online services or verify their identities. Why are all these countries doing the same thing at the same time? For those of you that watch my videos, for those of you that pay attention to these prophecies, that listen to GMS from the apostles on down, you know that you should know. Because even the IUIC have to mention now, and one of the most recent videos on the Motb, the Deacon Malachi for IUIC mentioned digital IDs being part of the Mark of the Beast breakdown, which is something that I can say I've been saying for years now. But we here at GMS, we've been talking about them utilizing technology and digital means to introduce the mark, the Motb. But they've been denying it, calling GMS a bunch of bums. They've been saying that there ain't no microchip. It's June. Now you got Nate having to backtrack and scramble. Him and his deacons having to change things up again. Oh, that's what I was trying to say. GMS has never changed up from the beginning. We've always had the same truth, the same understanding on the scriptures, and we're seeing that come to pass. So it says, known as cyberspace IDs or online number, the ID takes two forms: a series of letters and numbers and an online credential. According to China's Ministry of Public Security, more than 6 million citizens have applied for and activated cyberspace IDs. So you're going to be able to use this ID, this number, to buy and sell. It says as part of a federated identity scheme, the ID can be used across multiple government and private online services. Authorities say the single credential reduces the amount of personal information people need to share online and claim that this could improve cybersecurity and strengthen online privacy. Well, that's how they're selling it to you. That's all them trying to sell it to you for convenience. But ultimately, it's going to lead to their destruction. I'll say here in America, taking this device is against the scriptures. If you're an Israelite, if you're in America, because America will be destroyed once the Motb is implemented. Let me read this here. It says, last year, following online criticism of China's plan to introduce a national digital identity system, censors moved to scrub such comments on the initiative. Yeah, because over there in China, it's very strict over there. Critics feared the optional digital ID would eventually become mandatory and be used to increase government control and surveillance. So, yep, this is it. The Chinese, the Asian arm of the Motb system, out there in Asia. But soon they'll introduce the implant. This is just a step closer, okay? Check this out. Now, we had all these mass deportations of the Latin tribes coming out of America, being forced by the Trump administration to go back to their countries, where it says ICE is at the center of a vast and growing U.S. biometric surveillance capability. Because it's me, this is my spiritual opinion, through my insight in the spirit. They deport the immigrants now, the legal immigrants as they call them, back to, Central and South America, the islands, or whatever, country you're from. And then they say, okay, you can come back now, but you gotta, which they're already using biometrics at the border and things right in Mexico. But this here, I believe that they're gonna start letting others back in. Once they have this biometric system set up, and then eventually they'll push the chip. But I mean, check this out. It says U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement has quietly emerged, emerged as the operational nucleus of a vast, fragmented, and increasingly automated biometric surveillance architecture across the United States. It says, and unlike traditional centralized surveillance programs managed directly by federal agencies, ICE's strategy has been to embed itself within a growing constellation of federal, state, local, and commercial systems, leveraging their reach, data, and capabilities without assuming formal ownership and avoiding oversight. So this is heavy, man. Heavy news. See, even here, it says the big picture that emerges is sobering. ICE has engineered a multi-pronged enforcement infrastructure that is stitched together federal, state, local, and private systems. It's a biometric reach that extends from fingerprints in county jails to facial scans in city streets. License plates in suburban neighborhoods, and income declarations as federal tax filings. It operates in the shadows of legal ambiguity and political neglect, capitalizing on the fragmentation of American governments and the unchecked expansion of commercial. Yeah, whatever, it is pushing what they want to say out there, but it's definitely time for the mark of the beast to come to pass. Let me get another precept. Okay. This is Habakkuk, the second chapter. Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 1. It says, "And I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower." The watchtower, that's where the prophet or the watchman sits. That's where the watchman sits to see if there's an enemy coming or anything like that. But then the prophets can see the same way, but through the Spirit. It says, "And will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And the Lord answered me and said, Write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it." So the vision is set up to happen when it's going to happen. There's nothing we can do about it. For the vision is yet, here's the point. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak. What vision is speaking at the end now? The Motb, the mark. Okay, the micro C hip. It says, but at the end it shall speak and not lie, though it tarry. It's June. Ain't no microchips. And that was a quote from Vision Nathaniel, the IUIC, when he was making fun of GMS, saying that there's going to be implants being put in people's hands and foreheads. Because of the Motb, making fun of, of GMS for saying that. But it's set up for a certain time, and that time is speaking out. It says, though it tarry, wait for it. And we've been waiting patiently, we've been teaching the doctrine, but now it's coming to pass. Okay? Because it will surely come, it will not tarry. So it's not gonna linger. Okay? Let's see here. Okay, let's deal with this. This is Visa, right? Visa sees expanding role of digital ID and passkeys, launches Click to Pay in Hong Kong. Okay, wait, hold on. What did we just? Yep, China. So China again. Okay, Visa. All right. So it says Visa with ZA Bank is launching Click to Pay in Hong Kong, with 11 more markets to follow as it also rolls out Visa Payment Passkey globally. So this is another step to the you know what? ZA Bank is a Hong Kong digital bank, and is enabling cardholders in Hong Kong to use Visa Click to Pay to complete online transactions in seconds. Click to Pay removes the need to manually enter details such as the 16-digit card number, passwords, or personal account numbers. Yeah, even when you enter on certain websites, so I think even when I go to certain websites, I think going on my computer, so I think they ask where you can sign up for a pass key on your computer and phone. You know, I mean, I don't set it up, but that option pops up. So this is the new system. It says when Click to Pay is used and combined with the Visa Payment Passkey, consumers can enjoy a seamless checkout experience, buying and selling, with just 3 clicks, while merchants buying and selling. You're buying when you check out, merchants sell. While merchants will benefit from a quicker checkout time, improved authorization rates, and far lower fraud rates. So these passkeys can easily be transferred to a chip in the hand. So if you can't see what's going on, man, you definitely sold out, or you sold out. I'm talking about these leaders of these different groups. You sold out for teaching the wrong gospel. And Yahweh Shai is not dealing with you, because we can see these things. Cardholders are able to set up a Visa payment passkey using their mobile device's biometric capability and use the passkey for future payment authentication and participating e-commerce sites. Like I mentioned before in the first article, they want to use, in Europe, they want to be able to scan your palm with the camera. That's a biometric use. You can do facial recognition on your camera when it's facing you. You can do your fingerprint. So these phones can use biometrics. Next is, use your phone to scan the chip in your hand for buying and selling. Or you can go to the store in person and they scan your hand. Or they can, like they were doing when they was checking temperatures during 2020, when they was checking your temperature to see if you had the virus. They just, scanned your forehead. All that was a test run. They're all setting up for the Motb digital system. It says cardholders are able to set up a Visa payment passkey using their mobile device's biometric capability and use the passkey for future payment authentication at participating e-commerce sites. So this is out of China. I'm going to jump down. It says Microsoft is arguably the biggest adopter, as it steered users toward biometrics and passkeys when it rolled out a new sign-in experiments. Right, like I said, you got a computer, you can opt to use a passkey to log in. It says for the 1 billion users of Windows and other Microsoft services, the UK government, right, going back to Europe, is another high-profile adopter as it shifts to passkeys. Visa observes expanding role of digital ID. Visa is a proponent of digital identity, and earlier this year set out its stall to partner and work with governments. And I've been saying it's going to be the government. See, at first, when we was first teaching the Motb, it was private companies. Verichip, Positive ID, Dangerous Things, Vivo Key, Wallet More. It was private companies. Well, even up to this point, you got Neuralink. Private companies were pushing the technology that we were saying was the Motb, which is the chip, the implant. But now, I was also saying that but based on the prophecy, the government has to push it. The beast, the government has to push it. Okay? The government is going to be the one to push the Motb, which lines up with Revelation 13, 15, and 16. Okay? The beast. Okay? The beast is going to push it. It says, Visa is a proponent of digital identity and earlier this year set out its stall to partner and work with governments at any stage of their digital identity deployments. In February, it released a white paper, Digital Identity and Payments, that envisioned mobile phone-enabled digital identity credentials and payments. So this is it, man. This is it. Okay, I'm gonna read this and I'm gonna close out. I'm gonna close out on this, man. But we are definitely in the time of the mark of the beast, Motb, biometric implant, micro chip, coming to pass. GMS has always been right. It says Visa argues that digitalization is no longer an optional supplement for the public sector, but a real and urgent imperative. So it's a must. It's a must-go-to system. The payments company is outlining what it calls 5 key opportunities for the public sector. It's going from private companies to public. The government is going to push it to the public, okay? The beast is going to push it out to the public. He shall cause all, small and great, rich and poor, to eventually get the implant, okay? The payments company is outlining what it calls 5 key opportunities for the public sector, such as automating public procurement and commercial payments. Different companies are going to use this system, tying the necessary applications for a consumer using their digital ID number and eventually chip to buy and sell. I mean, the vision is becoming more and more clear. Though it tarry, wait for it. It shall surely come. Okay? It says in leveraging payments data for issues including tourism, recovery, or urban design. Why would they need tourism recovery? Because a lot of countries and places were hit during 2020 and they're still recovering. But they introduced this system people will feel it safe to go touring around the world again. Urban design. They can create these 15-minute cities. They can add these to design queues of different cities. It's all a part. Everything, I see it all coming together. But it's going to be through what they're talking about here, digitalization. The digitalization agenda ultimately supports national competitiveness in the global economy, the white paper claims. This is the next step to the Motb. Right? Visa, and this is just dealing with Hong Kong. It mentioned the UK, Samsung, China, and there's other articles. I'm going to get into that. I don't want to just go through all these articles I got, but we're close. Okay? With that, hope this was edifying. Shalom.